Have you ever just looked at something and thought, wow, those colors look amazing together? And then other times it's a total clash. It feels like this big, complicated mystery, right? But what if I told you it's not magic, it's actually a language? A secret language that, believe it or not, is super easy to learn. And that's exactly what we're going to do today.
I mean, just think about it for a second. That perfect sunset, maybe your favorite piece of art, or even just a really well-designed room. There's a reason those colors feel so right. It's like they're speaking this silent language of harmony that our brains just get. But how? What's the secret sauce?
Well, the secret isn't some kind of magic that only artists know. Nope, it's actually a system. Think of it like a map with clear rules and guidelines that anyone, and I mean anyone, can follow. And today, we're going to hand you that map.
So, here it is, our map for this whole adventure, the color wheel. Now, I know it looks simple, just a circle of colors, but don't let that fool you. This little circle is probably the most powerful tool you'll ever have for understanding how color works and for making combinations that look absolutely fantastic.
And we're specifically looking at the artist's or Prang color wheel. This thing was developed way back in 1876, and it organizes 12 key colors into a super logical system. But here's the cool part. These 12 colors aren't just thrown on there randomly. They're actually broken down into 3 distinct groups that build on each other, kind of like Lego bricks.
Okay, so everything, and I mean everything, starts right here with the primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. The easiest way to think about them is like the parents of all the other colors on the wheel. You can't mix other colors to create them. They're the OGs, the pure, foundational building blocks of this whole system.
All right, so we've got our 3 parent colors, but the wheel has 12. So where do the other 9 come from? Let's get into it, because this is where the fun part, the mixing, really starts.
It's actually just a 2-step process. First step, we're going to make our secondary colors. Then we'll fill in all the little gaps with what are called tertiary colors. Simple as that.
Okay, step 1, secondary colors. The formula here is super easy. You just take 2 of our primary parent colors and mix them in equal parts. So red plus yellow, you get orange. Yellow plus blue, that gives you green. And finally, blue plus red gets you violet. And boom, just like that, our wheel has doubled from 3 colors to 6.
And now for the final layer, the tertiary colors. Think of these as the children of a primary and a secondary color. They're those 6 in-between shades that really fill out the wheel. You get them by mixing a primary color with the secondary color right next to it. That's how we get those cool, nuanced colors like red-orange or blue-green or yellow-orange. And there you have it. Our full, complete 12-color wheel is born. All right, so our wheel's built, we have all 12 of our colors. Now for the really exciting part. How do we actually use this thing? Well, we're going to use it to create color schemes, or as the pros call it, color harmony. And honestly, they're just like recipes for making awesome color combinations. First up, let's talk about the most dramatic recipe out there: complementary colors. Super simple concept, it's just any 2 colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. You see this everywhere. Think about red and green at Christmas time, or that classic blue and orange combo you see on like every movie poster ever. This pairing gives you the absolute highest contrast possible. So if you want something to seriously pop and grab eyeballs, this is the one you use. Okay, so now let's do a complete 180. If you want a totally different vibe, you've got analogous colors. This is when you pick 3 colors that are all sitting right next to each other on the wheel, like, say, yellow, yellow-green, and green. Instead of that big, bold contrast, this scheme gives you a feeling of calm and unity. It's way more peaceful, way more serene. It's the kind of combo you see all the time in nature.
And then, somewhere in the middle, we have the triadic scheme. This one is really cool. It uses 3 colors that are perfectly evenly spaced around the color wheel, so they form a perfect triangle. A great example, our original primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. This combo is super vibrant and energetic. It gives you strong contrast for sure, but it still feels really balanced and harmonious.
So you see the difference, right? The big takeaway here is that it all comes down to the feeling you want to create. Are you going for calm and soothing? Then you'll want to use an analogous scheme. Need something loud and bold that screams for attention? Complementary is your friend. Every one of these harmonies has its own unique personality. But what if you only want to use one color? Can you still make something interesting? Absolutely.
And that brings us to our final, kind of more advanced topic, how to take a single color and modify it to create a whole family of new variations.
Just look at this right here. It's a perfect example. We start with one pure color, this pure red. And then, just by adding a little white, or a little black, or some gray, we can create this huge range of related colors. This is the secret sauce behind all those really elegant, sophisticated single-color designs you see. Let's break down the lingo real quick because it's super simple. The pure original color, that's called the hue. Now, if you add white to that hue, you get a tint, so red becomes pink. If you add black to the hue, you get a shade, so red becomes a deep maroon. And if you add gray, you get a tone, which just kind of dials down the intensity. And when you put all these together, one hue plus all its tints, shades, and tones, you get what's called a monochromatic color scheme. It's pretty much a guaranteed way to make something look classy and put together. So there you have it. You've got the map, you know the building blocks, and you have the recipes for speaking the language of color. You can see the fundamentals are actually pretty simple, right? But what you can do with them is, well, it's totally infinite. So now that you know the rules, the real question is, how are you going to break them?